Hello, y'all. It is time to breathe again on the latest Bold for Sports webcast, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You see Patrick with me, Charles, and
he lost train of thought.
No, I was trying to find the words that I was going to.
You should have already found them.
No, even the best loses a little bit of
Is that beanie? That beanie's too tight on your head.
It's actually nice and loose fitting. But I know beanie in July is crazy. Look, I just never took it off, so don't worry about
it. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
I'll bring it up during the show.
But here we are, Patrick, in the second half of the year, literally in the calendar year, second half of the year. Time is flying, and since we're gonna have a little bit of a break in between shows coming up for the next couple of weeks, more on that in a little bit, but figure, hey, you know what, for the show, let's just rant about stuff. So let's go ahead.
Hashtag rant episode.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and start with this. Your favorite topic, Patrick? LeBron James.
LeBron James. More on that one day. We're going to write a show with LeBron James.
Not a show, Patrick.
A movie.
Three-part
trilogy about LeBron James and Harry Holmes.
And so here's...
Dude, I cannot wait, dude. We have got to get on that movie.
Hey, man, hilarious. Both of Sports Productions is expanding, so we'll get there. But man, it is funny. It's really comical to see the coverage from these networks. ESPN, of course, ESPN is the LeBron James network. We know that. And Yahoo Sports at this point, they're not too much better. But
not anymore.
Yeah, but LeBron signed, or he opted in to his.
Dude, before you get started on that, so Wimbledon started yesterday. I can't remember. Did you see golf lost?
Yeah. And look, hey,
in first round.
Hey, and maybe she was still celebrating because a month before she had won the French Open, and so maybe she was not too focused or not where the focus needed to be
in that second set, dude. Holy crap, dude! She lost 6-1.
Yeah.
Whoa.
She's making a lot of uncharacteristic errors there. Double fault. She had 9 double faults, I think. And
in that second set alone, right? Or did she have 7 in the second set and 2 in the first? Something like that.
I just know it was 9. It was 9 double faults. And I was back and forth watching it a little bit because I was cleaning up too. But yeah, gone in the first set after winning the French Open. Crazy.
I know. I was kind of disappointed because I really like that girl. I like watching her play. She has a really raw sense of talent. You know what I mean? And man, but she got, I don't know, that's an upcoming girl. What's her name? Yastreminsky or something like that? Man, look, hey, don't get your publicist on me. Sorry for hacking up your name. But is she not she's an up and coming tennis player though, right?
Yeah, and if you're beating the person who won the French Open a month ago, then it sounds.
Who won Wimbledon last year?
Last year, I thought it was a Swiatek, right?
Was it?
Fact check me on that one.
I'm gonna have to go in. Okay. LeBron James. Sorry, dude. When I saw that today, because I didn't get to watch the match. When I saw that today, I was like, no. I was kind of disappointed because to get ousted the first round like that, I was kind of disappointed.
It's all right. She'll bounce back. You know what I mean? It's just one of those.
She's good enough to.
Yeah, but one of the things, and fact check me on that just to see who did win the women's. But I thought it was Swiatek, but it might not have been her. But it's funny just watching the coverage of LeBron James because now he signed or he jumped into his option. He decided to opt in. There we go. That was the words I was looking for. Decided to opt in to the last year of his deal, which is costing $52.6 million. So it's funny looking at the articles that are out there because you see titles that say something like, LeBron is playing bully ball and he's trying to assert himself. We know how this is with LeBron. He thinks he's who was it?
Barboa Krinjikova. That girl. You know. Barboa. I remember that name now, but it was her who won. She won in 3 sets, 6-2, lost the second set 2-6, and then won the third set 6-4.
And the women's division is pretty loaded now too.
Yeah, because she was ranked 31 and she
won.
I remember that now. Now I'm sitting here looking at it. She took it. You know. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay.
You're fine. So you're seeing articles that come out there that say, LeBron trying to play bully ball. And,
come on.
Yeah.
Who said that?
And so that was a Yahoo Sports article. That's why I say Yahoo Sports isn't too much better than ESPN at this point. And so basically they're trying to say, hey, LeBron is trying to assert his power as usual.
But power?
Here's the thing. So if it's comical to see it because like if I'm the Lakers right now, I'm thinking to myself, you really don't have any power at all. You are not the same player as you was. And this isn't one of these tired ass GOAT debates. This is not where we're going with this. We will acknowledge LeBron James is a once in a generation player. He's been awesome with everything that he's done on the court, except for the flopping. And
the fact that Steph Curry is better in his generation than he is.
And also, look, and he'll go down as, like, depending on how you look at it, one of the top 3 or 4 players of all time. Depending on who you have up there, again, that's not really a debate. And I'm just talking about pure basketball. I'm not talking about any of the other stuff that would come into other people's thought process.
Yeah, like rings and
defensive
player of the year, offensive player of the year, those kind of things.
Just pure basketball stuff. And so with all that being said, though, Patrick, he's not that player anymore. And if you are the Lakers, you're looking at the body of work. The body of work says this. Let's go back to when LeBron signed with the Lakers for the 2018-2019 season. And I'm going to give you the team results to this point.
You got your notes up?
Nah, don't need them. Head. 1920.
Okay, you're okay. Confidence. Okay, I like it.
Patrick, you know how I be with this stuff a lot.
I know how you do that. I know how you keep the stats in your head.
So
you keep stats in your head better than I keep hair on mine. So just saying.
So in 2019, they didn't make the playoffs. 2020, of course, that was the year they went to the bubble. They won the title that year. And good for them. Won the title. It's a legit title to me. I know a lot of people will say, well, it's a bubble championship. The season got split up because of COVID. Well, everybody else was dealing with the same stuff too. The Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same deal. Everybody had the same pros and the same cons.
Yeah. So give the Lakers credit there. So there's your 2020 championship. 2021, out in the first round. Lost to the Phoenix Suns in 6 games. 2022, didn't make the play-in. Did not make the play-in. Out of the playoffs altogether. 2023, they did make it to the Western Conference Finals before they were swept by the eventual champion Denver Nuggets. And then the last couple of
solid team that year.
Yes, they were. 2024, and then this year out in the first round in 5 games. So I'm looking at these results here, and if I'm the Lakers, I'm saying, well, dude, we're not winning with you. So you know what? How about we try to trade you, and then you can take Bronny with you. And so, and that's the thing that I'm not
the famine. Get
and that's the thing, Patrick. So I guess my rant portion is we need to get off of the names, get off of who the guy is, and look at what is in front of us right now at this point. LeBron James is not that guy. And the years with the Lakers, they haven't been all that successful. No longer is LeBron that guy who can put the team on his back and carry them a long way. He hasn't been that guy in a while. So it's time.
Maybe after that 2019 season.
Yeah. and so we need to get off of that. Now I know the networks won't, because you talk about them like this, then that's money for them. That's money in their pocket, and particularly ESPN. But if we're supposed to be realist, as everyone wants to say, then let's look at what is in front of us here and notice he has not been that successful. He's not that guy anymore. And like you asked earlier, what power? He doesn't have any at this point.
Not anymore. I mean, like, look, I will say this. If LeBron was the best at anything on the court, I will give him hands down this right here. His on the court IQ is second to none. I mean, literally second to none. And you know, and a lot of people are going to be like, well, what about Michael Jordan? What about Kobe Bryant? Okay, well, first of all, Kobe Bryant's off the court IQ was a little more demanding than his on the court IQ, right? And what I mean by that is he would tell you, if you're not putting in the work I'm putting in today or in the morning, then you're not getting the ball, right? So that off the court IQ always dominated his on the court. Because if this dude over here is practicing less than he is, which nobody's going to practice as much as Kobe. Nobody. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying this to diss him, because he was one of my favorite players. Like, I loved watching him play. But the fact of the matter is that when he did it, he would tell you, I will take a 2% shot over giving you your 98 because you don't work as hard as I do. All right. Okay. Now, fair enough. I get it. I understand where Kobe Bryant's coming from, but LeBron James is not like that. LeBron James will look at it and be like, yeah, you're probably not putting in as much work as I am, so I will carry the team. But if I see you and I'm like 4-on-1, obviously somebody's open. If 4 people is on LeBron, if you're up underneath the goal, it's an easy 2 points. I still get stats from it. You get points, but I get an assist. You see what I mean? So when I look at LeBron, the one thing that I can tell you that he had over Michael Jordan, over Kobe, over Shaq, over anybody that ran the court, on the court IQ. That dude just sees things that nobody does. So I'll give him credit where credit's due, right? But yeah, I agree with you. Back on the names, like, look, just what is going to fit your organization and get you to the next level? Look at what OKC did. They didn't want to go out and buy a bunch of names. They put together a team that allowed them to win. That's what they did. Now, eventually they turned out to be names, but we didn't see that before this year. I mean, you might have got a couple of them out there, but they weren't big. Now they are. Did you see did you see the contract?
SGA, yeah.
Yeah, he got.
Yeah, 4 years.
$1 million a year. What? Okay.
Yeah.
But now he's a big name. Now you gotta lock him in.
The MVP. Yep.
Yeah, you gotta lock him. You gotta lock him in. But here's the thing: know when the train has left the station. That's all you gotta do, and then ship him off. Look, I get it. I know people are like, man, you gotta have loyalty. Man, look, players are as loyal as the organization can be. And to be honest with you, I'm loyal. I can look at it from this way. Players are looking at it from this way. So should organizations. I'm loyal to the championship. You get me a championship, we good. You can't, move on. Simple as that.
Year-to-year contracts.
Year-to-year contracts.
All this stuff is annual anyway, so.
So I'm loyal to the championship. Get me a ring.
And I'll say this also, Patrick. So you remember, and I mean, we talked about it on a good amount of occasions, but specifically on this show, we talked about this, I'll go about maybe 3-4 years ago, when it came to LeBron and him getting up there in age. And the question we were talking about, or the question we were asking ourselves is, how does the end of the career look? And we both felt it's legitimate to think he could go out in a situation where it looks like he's just trying to hold on. And it looks like it's starting to get there. He's starting to hold on. He's starting to push his authority around, because on top of him signing in for the option, the $52.6 million option year, here comes his agent, Rich Paul, saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, but basically, we're watching to see what the Lakers do to try to build a championship team. First of all,
LeBron, you're 49, 50, 60, whatever you are now. What is he, 43, 44?
Right. So first of all, let me get this one out real quick. And so first of all, he said, like, if you're gonna sign for $52.6 million, which is basically what you were about to say here.
Oh, you know what I'm about to say. You know exactly what I'm about to say. I'm not gonna say it because I want to see if you hit it.
Yeah, and it's like, so you're signing for this option, and that basically handcuffs what we can do as a team to bring other talent there. On top of that, these other teams, they're not really clearing out cap space to try to bring LeBron to the team anyway. So even if the Lakers said, screw this, we're going to go ahead and trade you and Bronny,
They'd get less if they traded both of them. They'd be like, what do you want for LeBron? 50. What do you want for LeBron and Bronny? 45. We're going to give you both of them at a discount. Come on.
But you can't. I mean, and then the other teams, like, if the Lakers decide that they are going to trade LeBron and Bronny, what is the other team giving up? Because that's going to be another depth cut, just to bring LeBron over there and Bronny. And so, because
let's call him LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron, because I'm trading both of them. Like, get it out. Get whatever drama, all of it. Get it out of there. And so
I can see these teams going, look, I'll give you 2 first-round draft picks and a second-round draft pick for LeBron. Okay. Well, we want to get rid of Bronny too. Okay. I'll give you 3 second-round draft picks. Wait, hold on. We went backwards. No, we went forward. You want to jump off Bronny. We're giving you the best deal. 3 second-round draft picks. That's all you get. What happened to the first two rounds?
No.
LeBron. Yeah, we'll take it for LeBron.
So Patrick,
if I have to take his whole family with me.
So Patrick, more is less. And I mean, that's the thing that gets me. And I mean, the way it is being covered, starting when he, I guess, decided he was going to opt in, it just turned into, oh, okay, he opted in. Well, what's going to happen now? And then when his agent comes out with the comment about him watching what the Lakers are doing, look, the Lakers, we know the Lakers
already done everything they can do.
Yeah, and we know
signed LeBron. That's it.
Yeah, and we know the Lakers are a team. They've never been one who's been patient with players. They don't really build through the draft like that. They always try to get the high price free agent or the splash. Well, you did that with Luka. And by getting Luka, what the Lakers has said is this is the guy we're going to build around now. And going back to that point of how the career path or how the career could end with LeBron, here's another aspect of that. When you have been the man for so long, it is really difficult for somebody who has been in that position to get a little bit of a reality check and say, man, no, you're not really that guy anymore. We're gonna move on. And now if the Lakers just go ahead and say, well, look, man, we're going to talk to you, but we're going to need you to waive that no trade clause because he's always got a no trade clause to keep that whatever power that he has. But it's clear that the Lakers are saying, all right, look, man, if anything, look, you can stay here, you do your farewell tour, but we're moving on. We're not going to continue to play this game with you anymore, especially when they haven't been winning with him.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I see that LeBron's really trying to do is, can he get 6? No. I think he really just wants that 5th one so he can match Kobe. That's it. And I can tell you, with the team that they have now, they're not even going to get that. He's going to get 4. He got 4. He might as well just go ahead and retire so that he can end on somewhat of a good note, because they're not winning another championship. Did you see what Denver did today?
Oh, Denver's making some smart moves. Yes,
dude. They brought in 4 people that averages over 53% shooting from the field. I mean, what?
There's some teams that are making that. They're actually doing some smart things. I like what the Hawks have done.
And I do too.
And I'm looking at some of these teams, what they're trying to do. Even the Rockets, they're making some good moves. I don't think they're really going to do anything with Kevin Durant like that, but they're making some smart moves.
They're moving the needle in Houston. They're moving the needle. Who was it? Miles Turner. Where did he go?
Oh, man, Patrick, you just be leading me into these things. So, because now he's with the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's who it was. Bucks. And they just let go Lillard?
Yeah, they cut Lillard.
I was like, good for you.
That one was a little surprising. I didn't think they were going to cut him, but if you're looking at it from the standpoint of it, business is difficult. All right. Business is really cutthroat. And look, Lillard has the torn Achilles. He's probably not going to play this coming season, or it doesn't look good for him to play in this coming season at all. And it's rough that the team would say, yeah, you got to go because we want to sign this other guy. So from that standpoint, sounds pretty rough, but the teams got to move on. They got to do what they feel is right, what they feel is going to give their team the best chance to win. With them still having Giannis in the fold, they want to try to maximize this as much as they can, even though there's not a whole bunch the Bucks can do. The Bucks basically re-signed all the people that were there before, except for Brook Lopez, who ended up signing with the Clippers. But
which is a good move. I mean, I didn't like Brook Lopez there.
Yeah.
But bringing in Miles Turner, and granted, I'm kind of assuming they're going to keep Giannis at this point.
Yeah, I don't think that they don't.
I don't think they want to get rid of him. I don't think they want to cut ties with him. So
no, they don't.
Miles Turner and Giannis. I mean, dude, that's far better than having Lillard on the team and then getting rid of Lopez, which means you're probably going to fill that with somebody else. But I mean, who knows who they're going to fill it with right now. But
you get
I
better.
don't know, man. Huh?
That's one thing. You get better defensively with Miles Turner on the team.
Yeah,
and
a lot better.
That hurts Indiana too. Like,
and honestly, to be honest with you, you get a lot better offense with Miles Turner. You know, so but Indiana now they got a void to fill. You know,
are they punting? Are they punting on the season
already? Dude, they were in the red zone. They were in the red zone. They're like, punt. Can we at least kick a field goal? Punt. But that's it. We're in the red zone. We're on the 15-yard line. I need you to pin them inside the 5. That's all I'm saying. Just pin them inside the 5.
And this is the handcuffing that you're talking about, because from the sounds of things, Miles wanted to stay. He wanted to stay in Indiana, but because of the constraints that are put into place by the NBA's current CBA, their collective bargaining agreement, there was really only so much they could do to bridge whatever the gap was from what Turner was asking for and what Indiana could possibly give him. So that contract he got from Milwaukee, Turner got from Milwaukee, was what, 4 years, $107 million, I believe.
Yeah.
So that is over $26 million per year, almost $27 million per year. And I don't know if Indiana could have given him that.
They couldn't. Not with the people they had on that team. They couldn't. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I want to say that Turner was coming up on, I mean, obviously he was coming up on contract renegotiation. I don't even think Indiana could even give him 60, dude, to be honest with you. Like, that team is way overpaid. Personal opinion, I think they're way overpaid. But for Milwaukee to be able to match what he was wanting, I mean, but dude, I think he's going to do great in Milwaukee, dude. He's going to have more of an opportunity. That's for sure. But man, I don't know, dude. Denver, dude, my God, they have a really good problem. They have a really good problem. They don't even know who their starting 5 is going to be, because you got 7 of them they can start.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Denver also. Denver, if there was anything that was wrong with Denver, it was the depth. And maybe it was more of the coaching not playing a lot of that depth. I mean, Denver was most of the time going 8-9 guys. But getting Jonas Valanciunas in to back up Nikola Jokic, you traded Michael Porter Jr. away to get Cam Johnson. So for those who don't know about Cam Johnson, that dude can shoot. Now, I know
58%.
Yeah.
Last year.
That dude.
Just so you know.
That dude is a very good shooter from 3. And I know he's been buried with the Brooklyn Nets. So not a lot of people would know unless you're following basketball like that. But this dude could shoot. Oh, and by the way, another thing about Cam Johnson was on that, they were on the Phoenix Suns team that almost won the championship in 2021 as well. And he ended up there in Brooklyn in the Kevin Durant deal that sent him from Brooklyn to Phoenix. But this guy can shoot. You put him with Jokic and Jamal Murray now, that's going to be a lot more open looks for him. And most likely he's knocking those down.
And on top of that, you got Valanciunas, who is going to be backing up Jokic. I mean, that's going to be his problem. But what are you going to do? And this is just curiosity. What are you going to do when you got them parallel running down the court with each other? And you play big small, and you run Johnson, and you run Murray, and you run Valanciunas, and you run Jokic. Who do I alley-oop it to? Just throw it up there. Somebody's going to grab it.
This is going to give Jokic some good rest.
Yeah.
Because that's probably something that he was not getting in the last few seasons. I mean, he's averaging 40 minutes a game. And for a guy that big and that mobile, yeah, get him some rest. And Denver never really had a legit big man to back him up like that. I mean, DeAndre Jordan is okay, but he's just not that guy. He's not that same guy that he was those years when he was playing with the Lob City Clippers back then. But you get Valanciunas, a guy who can get you a double-double. That's what you want.
Off the bench.
Off the bench. Yeah.
I mean, he will get you a double-double off the bench. And at this point, you know, I can see Denver. I mean, dude, I can see Denver running 9 or 10. They have two lines. They literally have two lines.
Yes.
Foul trouble is not going to be a problem for this team next year. Holy cow. Oh, yeah, let's get Jokic to foul out. Why? Because we got Valanciunas to go against now? Okay, great. That's like walking the third batter so you can get to the fourth batter.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, dude. Denver is sick right now, like, just on paper. I get it. Just on paper. They look sick. I mean, wow.
And how quickly people forget Denver took OKC to 7 games.
Yeah.
So it's not like Denver. This is a team that won the championship a couple of seasons ago. Still have a lot of those core guys there, or at least
been knocking on the door.
Yeah,
like they're still knocking on the door.
Yeah, at least the main two are still there with Jokic and Murray, and then you can have people. They brought Bruce Brown back as well, who was also on that championship team. Mm-hmm. And so, Denver is quietly building up the team, and that's what it takes. You have to build teams now. LeBron is still on let's see what they do, and he's still on kind of that super team kick.
Yeah, well, I mean, on top of that, he wants $53 million. You're 90, bro. 53 million. What is it? 52.6 is what you said?
52.6, yes.
Dude, you're not worth that anymore, man. You're just not. I mean, if I was the owner of LA, I'd be like, okay, we're paying you $52.6 million. What do you want me to do? You want me to draft Bronny? Okay. Then you're worth 30.1.
Hey, what? Patrick, keep this in mind too. Last week, the Lakers sold for $10 billion.
Yeah, I saw that.
$10 billion they sold. And it's to the guy who I guess has a minority share in the Dodgers as well. So $10 billion. So new ownership. They not going to play around with that. Like if you got new ownership, you bought this team for $10 billion. You are going to make some moves. And obviously, because you've seen what's happening with the Dodgers have become the team with the highest payroll in the major leagues. Normally that's the Yankees, but the Dodgers have passed them up. So these guys are willing to spend some money, but what they're also going to do, if what they've done with the Dodgers is any indication of this, what they're also going to do is make sure they put an emphasis on the draft and developing those players.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because
we've got a huge farm system. That's one of the best now.
Yeah, and the way they're building that farm system up in LA, I mean, they went for some recruits. They did some good trading at the end of last year. So he's willing to spend some money, but man, he's also wanting quality for his dime. So I can see him doing the same thing for the Lakers. He's like, yeah, we'll give LeBron his chance. We'll give him his chance 1 year. Do what you do, and if you can't do it again, you're gone.
Yep.
You're gone, bro. You're out of here. Step in my office. Why? Because you're fired. That's why.
After this year, truthfully, I would let him go. I would have zero interest in that.
I wouldn't either. Between him and Bronny, they both need to give their farewell tour.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, right. This year,
you look. It's a wrap, bro. For both of y'all, it's a wrap. Daddy's gone. What's Bronny gonna do? You need to go back to the G League.
Oh boy, yeah. It's just crazy just looking at the coverage of all these players, and I get it. For a while, whether you're talking about LeBron, Kevin Durant, and other guys like that. We can go over to football, guys like Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Ramsey.
There was a lot of moves in Pittsburgh on the Steelers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look like they turned in kind of dysfunctional land. We'll see how.
Dude, my phone was like instant messenger today with all the things. I was like, I didn't even subscribe to any of these teams. And why is my phone going off? I literally had to go in and was like, why am I getting this? And it was like, I have this one notification that says major updates. And I was like, off. I don't care what LeBron James is making. I don't care what Steelers has done. But when I did catch the Denver Nuggets thing, I was sitting there, I was like, holy crap. To me, right now, between Milwaukee, Atlanta, and Denver, those are some of the best moves, man. Denver, number 1. Milwaukee, number 2, and Atlanta, number 3. And those 3 teams just made some good moves for themselves, So it's going to be interesting next year.
Yeah, because you just want – that's what it's about. If you're going to make a move, it should be about how this person, whoever it is you are bringing to the team, how does he fit with whatever identity is trying to be brought onto the team. That's what it should be about. Too many times, particularly in the NBA, it's about the name. It's about the person who has had a certain stretch of years, or maybe a career worth of years, that has they've been good with whatever team they've been on. And now all of a sudden it's, well, hey, we bring this person onto the team. We'll figure out the rest later. Well, if you have, look, any team that had a point guard, and this is where I'm going with the fit. Any team that had a point guard that apparently was supposed to be the future, the guy who's supposed to get everybody into the game. If that same team had an interest in getting LeBron, that point guard is set back automatically. That point guard is going to be set back for years.
Yep. And he might as well just go ahead and request a trade.
Yep. Absolutely. Because you know where the ball is going to be. It is going to be in LeBron's hands all the time.
And what are you going to do? You ain't facilitating any of the game at this point. What you have been trained your entire life to do is facilitate a game. And now you're not. Because Mr. LeBron James wants to come in and run all 5 positions.
Yeah.
and at that point, and on that point, he's still trying to run 5 positions, and yet he's still cherry picking.
Yeah.
I'm like, where are you at on defense, dude? We still need you on defense. Nah, man, I don't do all that. I just get my easy buckets down here at the end.
And see that, and that. From here on out, you definitely saw it last year, or this past season. You're gonna get a guy he's gonna gas out. He's not going to be able, even if he wanted to. But we've seen many occasions where LeBron just won't get back on defense. Mm-hmm. But you're definitely not going to see that anymore. When you start getting into these playoff runs, especially if a team who has LeBron on there makes the playoffs, when it gets to game 4, the end of game 4, the end of game 5.
I'm gonna say second half, game 4, you've lost him. Unless you can find a way to match his, and I don't want to say talent, I want to say his IQ. You can find somebody. I mean, look, LeBron can't do 40 minutes on the court anymore. You barely give him 30 at max. I'm talking like 30, but he probably needs to be around the 27, 28 minutes, and then have tons of rest, especially at the end of the second half, and at the end of the third quarter. And you're going to utilize him the way you need to utilize him, and give the other guy the ample amount of play time so that you can have him coming off that bench in the second half ready to go.
And also, Patrick, LeBron's going to have to want that as well.
Yeah. You can't do it without his want.
Yeah, because if he's going to sit here and still want the ball in his hands all the time, still wants to be out here for 40 minutes, and still wants to be, quote unquote, the guy, it's not going to happen. He's not that guy. These teams are too good now.
Yeah, early exit or you're not making it at all. One of the two. And like you said, what was this last year? He went out in 5.
Yep.
So
last couple of seasons.
Last couple of seasons, he went out in 5. So he's at his end. So I be honest with you, like, man, if I was if I was a betting man, and I am,
we'll get into gambling a little bit.
I would say this is probably his chance right here. Like, he's probably going to try to run for that 5 because he has to have 5. Like, he has to have 5. If you're going to put him on any pedestal whatsoever, he's got to have 5. And I know that we try to say it should be about the basketball, but regardless of what you want to say, he has 4 rings. Steph Curry has 4 rings. Steph Curry came in a couple years later than LeBron. So here's the deal. In LeBron's generation, he cannot have somebody have more rings than him. Simple as that. And don't get me wrong, he's already 3-1 against 1-3. I'm sorry, 1-3 against Curry anyway. So he's already been dominated by his competitor in multiple facets of the game. But if Curry gets one more, LeBron got outshined by somebody else in his own generation.
Yeah.
So to me, I look at it and go, he's a great player. Like you said, LeBron is a once-in-a-generation player. But so is Steph Curry. So is SGA. I mean, these kids now, dude, they don't do what we did. They don't do what we did. Me and you played 6 sports. We played them all. What are you doing today? We're playing basketball. What are you doing tomorrow? Playing football. What are you doing the next day? Playing baseball, soccer, tennis. I played them all. Soccer, tennis, baseball, basketball, frisbee. Yeah. You name it. We played it all. These kids nowadays, they are focused on one sport. They're mastering it at young ages, and they are coming. They're coming. So I look at what LeBron done. Again, I agree with you 100%. Once in a generational player. Once in a generational player. But Michael Jordan owned his era. Kobe owned his era. And LeBron didn't own his own era. There's where your problem is always going to persist. Steph Curry done it better than he did. If you want to go stat for stat, LeBron is better. But ring for ring, Curry's better.
And another thing, with Steph, he literally changed the way the game was played.
Oh yeah,
he literally did that. Like there's I don't know really who else you could really say that about.
Michael.
Yeah, I mean, but like even with Michael Jordan, I think what Michael Jordan did was he took what guys like Dr. J and some of the high flyers before him, he just took it to another level. But like on the basketball court, in terms of style of play, I don't know if anybody's really
nobody's done it better than
Steph. I think you could make an argument for Magic Johnson only because he was a 6'8" guy playing point guard. You really hadn't seen that. But
okay. So I see where you're going with it. So Michael didn't change the game like those two did. No, he brought the game to the world. Now yes. I will say that Michael Jordan brought basketball to the world.
Yep.
Okay. But there's only been 2 cases, and I'll agree with you 100% here. There's only been 2 cases where the game changed. Because when you watch what the game was before Magic it was really everybody run it through your post, run it through your big man, make it and win the game. That kind of thing. Then all of a sudden, Magic enters the game and it becomes a running gun kind of game. You know what I mean? Now assists are happening faster. And then all of a sudden, everybody has to have this point guard that does this, right? So I get where you're coming from, because now, yes, I agree. 2 times. Now, when Magic done it, it stayed doing that until Steph Curry came in. And now everybody shoots from the logo. I say it one time, Charles, I've said it a million times, dude. I remember the second year that Steph Curry was in the league. And when EA Sports took that game off the shelf to change the algorithm for that man, I was like, there is the man right there. Steph Curry, man, I look, a lot of people don't like him. I don't know why. He does great things, not only for the game of basketball, but for his organization, as well as off the court. You know, I mean, the things that he does is just phenomenal. Now, so does SGA. I mean, if you ever read his little bio, dude, my God, he takes all of his money and donates it to charities. I mean, insane, right? So when I look at Steph Curry, and I'm like, comparing him to some of the greats, I'll take Steph Curry over LeBron James any day, dude. Because just the influence that he has on the court. Now, does he have a better IQ than LeBron? No. But man, he makes up for it in every aspect of the game. So I like him. I've always liked him.
Yeah, and again, I mean, it's one of those things when you're looking at whatever the legacies are. When you can sit there and say a guy literally made it cool to shoot from the logo, because people weren't doing it. They weren't shooting you had the Spurs that year where they had a bunch of people spreading the court and they could shoot the threes, but none of those guys had the range that Steph was bringing. And now here's Steph, especially once Steve Kerr got there, and he's pulling from
the bus.
Yeah, from the bus.
Steps off.
Yeah, and now everybody is trying to develop that range. And when you literally change the way the game was fundamentally being played.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know how much bigger of a legacy you could leave besides that.
You can. I mean, one of the bigger reasons, like you said, reason why Magic Johnson is such a legend was because he changed the way the game was played. And now you have this run through the center, shoot the ball from the logo, as well as point guards that can run it up and down the court. The way the game is at its best. I would say it's kind of at its best right now on an offensive standpoint, but somebody's going to have to come in and change the game from a defensive standpoint, because look, I remember the games where they were like 89, 94. That was the games, right? Now you're averaging 120 a game. But the thing is you do have to credit to a couple of things on offense. I mean, these guys are better shooters. Nowhere in history have you seen anybody shoot 60% from the field. You got a handful of people that do it all the time. The cat that's coming from Brooklyn going into Denver. This dude shoots 58% from the field. Look at Steph Curry. That dude shoots, I think there was one year he shot 60% from 3-point line. Yeah. The percentages are insane. So yeah, I can see why these guys are putting up 120, 125 points in regulation. But man, come on. You got to have a little bit of defense, because if they're just able to shoot 3-pointers at will, what are you going to do? That's the reason why I like the WMMA. Yeah. They are physical and they let them play. Probably a bit too much, but man, they let them play, dude. I like the WMMA.
Yeah, it, it's funny because once you get to the playoffs, and particularly the Eastern Conference or the conference finals and the
Mhm.
finals, you still have to be able to play some defense. So yes, obviously the scores are definitely what they, because the scores are going to be higher just simply because rules dictate that.
Yeah.
There's so much more spacing on the court. You can't hand check like you could back in the 80s and 90s on defense. If you
Mhm.
give a hard foul, you're automatically getting thrown out of the game. Whereas before, you give a hard foul, it's all right, hard foul, get up, shoot your free throws.
Mhm.
And so it's just so much that is geared toward offense. And we see it in every sport. The
Oh yeah.
rules are geared to where the offense can have more leeway. And
Because that's what people want to see.
yeah, it's
Is the
entertainment.
ultimate rule that you remember: offense sells tickets, defense wins championships.
Yeah. And so that is always it's always been that way. So the thing, like you said, the thing with offense, this isn't nothing new. This is just more enhanced because of the rule changes that has happened, and it enables for people to have more spacing to operate. Just like in football, if you give any sort of a hard hit, you could get thrown out of the game for targeting or unnecessary roughness. Now, basketball, you get a hard foul and you're gone. And so
Mhm.
it's just you're going to see some higher scores in there. But even still, the defense, it's got to come into play at some point. One dimensional teams do not win it. Steph Curry, going back to him, he has been on teams. And I mean, and any player, even LeBron, Kobe, MJ, these were they ended up being multifaceted teams. So,
Mhm.
and that's the thing that also gets me on another rant where these players get so individualized, and these are team sports. Now I get you have some people who are um more pivotal, I guess, to their squads than others.
Mhm.
But there is no player in basketball, no quarterback in football who has won a title by themselves.
Yeah.
It just does not
I would
happen.
love to see a quarterback win a Super Bowl without six people on the line.
Yeah.
You gonna hike it to yourself, and,
Exactly.
and every play's a run play. Well, we already know what you're gonna do. It's not like you can pass to yourself.
Exactly.
It ain't gonna happen.
Ru-
Um,
Russell,
but I will say this:
Russell Westbrook tries. Angel Reese tries to.
Angel Reese is probably the better one at it. I ain't never seen anybody get 200 rebounds in one possession. 2 points. 200 rebounds, 2 points, one possession. I swear. It is.
What's going
It's,
on,
Aaron,
Aaron?
what's up, man?
Good to
Dude,
see
we've been
you.
missing you.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm glad that you showed up. You actually tuned in just in time, man. Hey, well, hi to you too, and happy 4th of July to you, since we won't be on before Friday anymore. But so real quick, Patrick. We'll carry on that conversation about the all-time greats and how we wanted to rant about how no one does it on their own. But this gambling thing, another rant. So you got Malik Beasley here. So he played for the Detroit Pistons this past year and was with the Bucks beforehand. He's being investigated for some for some gambling hits. You bet basically trying to influence some things over under
Loading it up.
rebounds on his rebounds.
Oh, he betting on himself. That's called an investment. Charles, they need to reevaluate that. That's
Do
an
that,
investment.
Patrick. You know you can't do that. You can't.
Charles, if you bet on yourself, that's an investment, and they need to change that rule. They need to change that rule.
But here's the thing. This case, and I see your theory. I really do. But here's the thing, though. This is another case where you have a player in one of your 4 major North American sports coming under investigation for gambling. the leagues themselves and the and the where were you at, Aaron, earlier?
Dude, you would have had a blast on this show. Let me tell you. This has been our hashtag rant episode.
Yes, and so if you are the leagues and the networks, you cannot be surprised at this. There's no way you can be surprised this is happening when you openly encourage it.
Mm-hmm.
You have nothing but gambling commercials coming through your airways. You watch any NBA game, it's bad MGM. Well, in NFL games too. It's
you got to tell us about that, dude.
Yeah, you need to tell us about that documentary. Yeah, no problem, man. No,
you ain't got no problems, man. I want to see it though. You got to let us know when it comes out. When's it come out?
You have 2 viewers in that when it is finished.
Absolutely, 2 viewers and 2 thumbs up.
Mm-hmm. And so, man, but you look at the NBA games on ESPN, particularly in the NBA Finals. On ESPN, well, they got ESPN Bet. So what are they advertising there? ESPN Bet. Go ahead, lay your bets. BetMGM commercials, DraftKings commercials, FanDuel's commercial. Hell, FanDuel got networks now. FanDuel got whole networks where they show horse racing.
Don't ever get into horse racing. No, you straight up do not get it. It is addicting.
Yeah,
it is addicting.
I've been to a few racetracks, and yeah, I've been like, all right, look, I gotta leave.
I gotta roll, dude. I went to one. I was like, I gotta go. And as I'm walking out of the track, I downloaded a horse betting app so I could bet again. I was like, they make it too simple. I was like, no, this is horrible.
Let's see what Aaron says. He says, so okay. He said the profits at first, but he said, but that too. he said the profits are getting insane. It's like, will Stephen A have another blow up, or will Aaron Rodgers take some sort of magical spicy pepper that will have him saying the weather forecasts on Pluto? And he's so right. Yes, the prop bets are getting out of control. Like you hear the ones like during the Super Bowl. Hey, what color Gatorade is going to be poured on the winning coach? You know,
10-1 odds says it's red. It's blue, darn.
How many times will they show Taylor Swift during the Super Bowl? And it's something like that.
It's bad.
It is way too ingrained in the society.
But what's bad? The fact that they're doing it, or the fact that there's people going, I bet they play her 8 times, dude. $100.
I think it's a little bit of both, because for the longest time, and I know you remember this, Patrick, for the longest time, gambling was taboo. Like, unless you did actually go to Las Vegas, and when Atlantic City, New Jersey was in their heyday, unless you went to those 2 places, gambling was one of those things. Like, no, you don't want to do that. You can get into so much trouble. But I would say maybe, yes, you're right, Aaron. This is the new alcoholism. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I would say it's probably about 2016, 2017, where all of a sudden gambling was just like the leagues started to embrace it. And
yeah, dude, because I was going to say, dude, in 2012, I was all over FanDuel, bro. You know that. Yeah. I was betting like crazy. And you're like, hey, I think you even asked me one time, you were like, hey, do you want to do this Yahoo Fantasy Sports? And I'm like, nope. You were like, why? I was like, because I'm on FanDuel. I don't need the injuries. They get an injury, I lose them for one line. Put somebody else in.
So that part, fantasy sports and stuff, that's been along for a good little while.
Yeah.
But now, once the NFL in particular said, you know, starting to embrace gambling a little bit. As a matter of fact, we might even put a team in Las Vegas. Of course, the Raiders ended up going there as soon as things ran out in Oakland. Yeah. And yeah, they saw the money train that was coming in, and all of a sudden, here it comes. And they have dove head first into all of it.
And then they're mad when somebody bets.
Exactly. And so that's why I'm looking at this Malik Beasley case. Well, the latest one involving one of the players. And I'm thinking to myself, if you're the NBA, what are you mad about? Are you gonna go ahead? You're gonna punish them? You're gonna do like what the NFL did to Calvin Ridley because Calvin Ridley missed on a parlay? You're gonna go ahead and suspend him, ban him for a year? I mean, if it's right there openly in your face and in your own programming, you are like you even see it during free throws.
Yeah.
In between free throws, be like, hey,
bro. Look, families do it all the time. So I was watching the game with my cousin, and we were just doing like bet you it's fastball.
Yeah.
Just bet you it's fastball. And like, dude, that's how we did. Me and my grandpa used to do it all the time. He'd be like, I would say something, and he'd like ground out to second, double play. And then they do it. I'm like, what the hell? Miss it every time. But I mean, me and my grandpa used to do it, dude. And that was years ago. So me and my cousin was doing it when I was in Atlanta last time. I mean, it happens. I mean, I just don't understand why they got to keep doing this. Oh, you can't gamble because even though we throw it all in your face. That's like, no, I ain't gonna say it. Never mind.
Stop it. You're gonna go.
Yeah, no, I'll say it offline.
I'm glad you caught yourself. One more thing before we head on out, going on that betting thing. Like I could be here. Let's see. Aaron says any sports talk show that spends time discussing lines and over unders for hours loses all credibility to me. Exactly, Aaron.
There you go. ESPN.
Yeah.
Fox Sports.
Lines. And ESPN is not the only ones that I've told you about the sports radio networks, like the former CBS Sports Radio. They're now Infinity Sports Network. They have a 2-hour show dedicated to.
Now, I will say this: if they do it, I agree with you, Aaron. All credibility. But here's the thing: if you're FanDuel and that's what your entire line is about, do it all day long. It's like food porn. I don't like food porn. Like, don't take pictures of your food and post it all over social media. I will unfollow you immediately. Like, I don't like that. Now, but if you're in culinary school, dude, that's your job. I'd expect it. But some girl taking a picture of her salad while she's out on the beach. Look at what I got. I ain't got time for that. Unfollow. Why did you unfollow me? Because you put food porn up. I don't like food porn.
Aaron said, if I want trigonometry talk, I'll take math. I got math class.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's the thing, like, I mean, because there's whole stations now that is dedicated to betting. And I just remember when it was just so taboo. And now it is just, it's the new alcoholism, like Aaron said. It's a new drug. Oh, and also, so here in DC, you go to Nats Park and you go to where the Wizards and the Caps play, Capital One Arena. Do they have BetMGM sports books right there? I mean, right there inside, like it's inside Capital One Arena, and then there's one that's right by the center field gate.
Dude, they have them at Truist Park the same way.
Yeah, it's wild.
They're all over the place, dude.
Crazy. And so
I agree with you, Aaron. I don't want that in sports talk either. But if your job is nothing but sports betting, like FanDuel, and they have their own network, talk about it all day long. I don't care. But if you're like ESPN, don't dabble. Just do what you do. You know, I mean, It doesn't make sense to me either. I want to talk about sports. I want to talk about sports. I want to talk about the betting part of it. Now, don't get me wrong. We'll talk about betting on this show, but we're not going to be giving you lines unless we're talking about what our picks are.
Yeah, I mean, like, because we've done that before. Like, we brought it up. Just like if we're talking.
Did you see the line on this?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is insane.
If we're talking about over under values or something like that, and it just happens to come up like, well, yeah, maybe that would be an interesting play. But no, we're not going to have a whole show just dedicated to betting lines. That won't be happening. So Patrick, we got to wrap it up, man. So before we get on out, what is coming up for Pro Epic?
Man, nothing. It rains all the time. I ain't even attempted to get my cameras out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I was like, well, there's no point. And then we had this whole freaking thing, elaborate thing planned that we were going to do. And we were going to start filming tonight or yesterday. Guess what? Rain all freaking day. So I'm going back to my post. I'm doing my Monday morning motivations, and I'm probably going to get back to my Friday wrap-ups. And then once it stops raining, me and Brantley's going to do some basketball challenges, football challenges, and baseball challenges, and we're just going to flood social media with it. So it's going to be coming.
That's what's up. Aaron had one more. He said, yes, ESPN does what ESPN does and creates SE NFL content by hiring such legendary NFL QBs. I can't. You know what's really funny about that? All right, I know we got to wrap it up, but Aaron just got me on another quick little rant here. Now,
is there such thing?
What I can't stand, so if you ever checked out any little bit of their Super Bowl coverage, which I will say some of it is so unwatchable, and it's ESPN programming, so it's probably unwatchable anyway, which is really insulting because I like Randy Moss. Randy Moss is on there. I like Randy Moss, but I just won't watch it because he just happens to be ESPN and is guilty by association. But when you ask Rex Ryan what prep talk you are giving to the team that's about to play in the Super Bowl, how the hell is he gonna know? He ain't never coached in no Super Bowl before as a head coach.
No, he hasn't.
What are you asking?
You hired the wrong person, ESPN. Yeah. And then you let go of all the people that you should have kept, and then you kept Stephen A. Smith. Come on, that company is such a joke.
They become very much a joke, man. And it's,
I think Disney needs to sell them
because I also
trade them for LeBron James. Sell ESPN, trade ESPN for LeBron James.
It's not a fair trade.
No, because you'd have to take Bronny.
Yeah, but
it ain't fair at all.
But look, for both of sports, so we won't be on the air for the next couple of weeks. I'm out. I'm gonna be on the trip. So yeah, so we will be back on the 22nd. On the 22nd of July. So that'll give us a few weeks to just work on our products. Patrick's going to work on Pro Epic if it stops raining. And then we'll be ready. And then we'll be ready. We'll be back getting ready for the football season. Because by that time, training camps. Oh no, LeBron for LeVar Ball. So we gonna be. Welcome to Big Baller Zone. So with that, because boy, we're gonna be on here for a while ranting.
Yeah, we're gonna have because you're about to get me started.
Yeah,
I just finished ranting and I'm about to get started.
So
we'll be on here for another 2 hours.
So so during that 3 weeks, yes, Discord's got to be on there. Need to have a thumbnail, and of course, y'all know the other things that are being worked on. I know every time I see a Twitch comment, it always leaves the Discord. So yes, that is still on the docket there. But that will conclude this edition of the Both the Sports webcast. That is what we are breathing on for tonight. Y'all make sure y'all visit the Both the Sports YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, and follow the Both of Sports Facebook page. So everybody take care. Again, the webcast will be back in a few weeks. And in between that time, I know I'll be able to do a shorty or two. And
I'll try to get some shorties in, especially with Wimbledon up and then Formula One. I'll be watching both of those probably, and some golf.
yeah, absolutely. And Aaron, hey, appreciate you coming in, even showing up. I mean, like you said, you was working on a documentary, man, and you still found some time to check us out, man. So
yeah, we appreciate you. So, but yeah, keep us posted on that documentary because we'll definitely scope it out and see what's up.
Absolutely. So, with that, everybody, take it easy. Have a happy, say, 4th of July, and the webcast will be back in a few weeks. But again, be looking for a couple of shorties to keep things going until we do come back with the live show. Everybody take care of yourselves and each other, and we will talk soon.